Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I have two wonderful people with me in person, so we're sitting across the table. Olivia Haller and Anna Long. Hello, you two.
Hello.
Hi.
So, introduction time. First of all, Anna's been on the podcast before, so I'm probably going to favor Olivia a little bit because you're a first-timer. But you two are here because you collaborated, you co-wrote the screenplay, The Experience, which was a finalist, Filmvasion 2025, for the Grand Jury Award for Best Feature Screenplay.
That's correct.
It was an honor.
That's correct. And the wild thing was, and I didn't even know it, right? At the time, I remember in the lead up to the festival, emailing with Anna, and you said, I'm actually not, because you had a film in the festival, which should be in my notes. Oh, I fucked up my notes. But, and we are allowed to curse.
It's okay. I'm here. I can back you up.
You can.
I can fact check in live time.
Yes. If I'm wrong about anything.
I did make a film.
Yeah. Anna was a double header.
But I mean, it is a little unusual for us to have someone have a film as an official selection and a screenplay as an official selection in the same festival. So I'm giving you my golf clap for your level of talent. Yeah, it's very unusual.
Well, it's all thanks to Olivia.
Well, she's one of a kind, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So anyway, I should see if I'd really prepped. Well, by the way, Olivia and Anna came a little early, which I applaud, but it means I didn't look up what episode number you were on, Anna. So
I didn't either.
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
People just have to look at the podcast feed if they want to hear your whole life story.
We can put it in post. We can
put it in the show notes.
Let's put it in the show notes.
The truth is, I could hit pause and look it up, but this in the moment crap kind of works, right?
I didn't prep either.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna say.
All right. Well, you didn't prep, but guess what, Olivia?
Okay.
I'm gonna hit you with the question that Anna answered when you were first on the podcast, which is, what got you to this stage where you are screenwriting? Probably doing even more than that, but what led you to becoming a creative?
Now I say that my past life is in theater because that's really how I started out. And when I was a kid, I always loved being in English class when we would do Shakespeare scenes. And I would I remember in fourth grade, we read The Tempest and we had sides that we would act out in class. And so that I would bring them home and act them out with my Beanie Babies at home. And I always loved being in the school plays. And then I did theater in high school. And that was my favorite thing. After I was done with my homework, I was just telling Anna on the drive over here that the nighttime going to bed after I finished all my homework was my me time. And I would write little novels and I would work on my lines or songs. That was the thing that I craved doing when I was done with all the stuff I had to do. And so then I ended up going to a conservatory for college. I went to the School of Theater at Boston University. And I fell in love with playwriting and dramaturgy there as well as performance. And so after college, I ended up working more in new play development. And I was at Woolly Mammoth Theater Company in DC for a while and just doing small productions in DC as well. And then over time, I saw a lot of my playwriting heroes go on to write for television, and they would produce their regional theater plays as well, but make their money doing Hollywood writers' rooms. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That sounds like a dream life. Because I knew I loved LA. I knew I wanted to end up here, but I sort of thought I would go there by way of becoming a successful playwright first. And then COVID happened, and theater stopped. And that's all I was doing back in DC. And I kind of had this moment where I was like, I think DC is not my forever place. And I just feel like I'm drawn to LA. And instead of waiting for something to take me there, I just want to go and start building a life. And I was enrolled in the UCLA Professionals program studying TV drama writing. And I loved that and just knew deep down in my bones that I would be really good at this and that I wanted to work in a writer's room. And I love being in theater. I love being collaborative and I like working with other people and making a piece of art that's bigger than any one of us individually. And that has now transmuted into loving co-writing. So after I moved to LA, I kind of fell more into the indie film scene and like alongside loving TV writing. So it's only really in the past couple of years that I've started doing more features. Now I'm co-writing a vertical script with someone else as well. So it's just anytime I get to create with other people is like my jam.
Wow.
You're also a decorated actor as well.
Well,
I want to mention that.
I was going to ask you, Anna, to jump in, but yeah. So did you grow up in DC? Is that
yeah?
home?
I grew up in Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, right? Which, yeah, DC is on the. I've been. So.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and so I'm from there, and then I didn't intend to move back to my hometown after college necessarily, but that's where the theater company was that happened to hire me, and then I lived more in DC proper, and had a few like odd jobs and stuff around DC as well. So it's a great city. There's so much arts and culture there. Everyone always asks me like if I know, staffers, Capitol Hill staffers and stuff like that. And I'm like, actually, most of my friends were actors and lawyers. I didn't really encounter politics very much at all.
Yeah, and because there is a cultural scene in DC, you weren't drawn to do the New York thing?
I love visiting New York. I've never really felt drawn to live there. I just feel like it's a little bit intense and crowded for me. But I love going to see stuff, and I have a bunch of friends there. So it's actually the only downside of being in LA now is that I can't get to New York as often as I want to.
Right. Well, I certainly don't mind someone's. Anna had the same story, but I'm a third generation Angelino, so kind of like the idea that someone born and raised on the East Coast and a creative person felt the siren call of Los Angeles a little more than New York, because clearly with playwriting and stuff, so you were acting the whole way.
Yeah. I definitely still acted in DC. I produced a short film that I wrote called Subtext a few years ago that I also acted in. And that was more, it's funny now because after we took it to film festivals, everyone assumed that I wrote it to be a vehicle for myself as an actor, but it was really the other way around where sometimes I forget that I was also in it because I wanted to showcase my writing. And it's this kind of surreal dramedy. The premise is that it's two people on a first date who speak their subtext out loud, but the other character doesn't hear it, only the audience hears it. And then there's this event that forces them to say what they're really thinking. And so the acting carries a lot of the storytelling because in those perspective shifts, you're not reacting necessarily to the line the actor's giving you, your scene partner. You're reacting to a different circumstance, but you're projecting your inner thoughts. And so in a workshop with the director, I was like, let me try doing this. I want to show you what I mean here. And if you don't like it, that's fine. I don't have to be in the short. But then the director liked what I did and I liked being in it. And so I just stuck with it. And I did, but writing is really my main passion. It's where I find the most autonomy. And so I like being in shows, but I don't love the grind of being an actor. Whereas I love the grind of being a writer. I love getting notes and doing drafts and talking with people about it. And really the process of writing is actually fun and joyful for me. Whereas the process of acting can be gritty.
Yeah, the auditioning grind and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, as a kid, you were performing and writing. So you always had both sides. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I do think the life of a writer, well, it depends on personality, but yeah, for your personality, the life of the writer was just more appealing as you became an adult, I guess.
Yeah. That being said, if anybody wants to cast me in their,
they
show,
totally should. I actually might need to talk to you about
available.
something later.
Oh, excellent. This is my favorite way to act. This is in my friend's stuff.
I mean, it makes sense because also your friends know what will suit you well, and then you'll always be fantastic on screen.
And also, I'm happy to hear you say that you wanted to. I don't think you've ever told me before that you wanted to use subtext as a writing tool, because you could really teach that script in classes, because reading that script with all of the subtext is so, and then watching it for into something performed is such a masterclass in filmmaking. You know what I mean? It's such a piece for screen, for translation, and why you need all these pieces. It's so exciting to hear more about that process.
Yeah, I always love talking about it.
And are you one of those writers who has a virtual or actual little black book that you're always writing ideas down, and then it could be a play, it could be a script, it could be this, it could be that? Or
I do have in my purse right now. I have a tiny journal because it's funny, like when I'm sort of deep into projects, I don't necessarily start a bunch of other ones. Like I like to stick with them and see them through, and really I'm in this phase of my creation right now. And usually it's when one is wrapping up, that's when I'm like, all right, what's coming up? Or like if someone comes to me with an idea or presents me with an idea. And that's actually how the experience started, because Anna and I met through a writers group that the indie production company Vanishing Angle was running, and I submitted this pilot that I wanted notes on, and Anna gave me like fantastic notes and was like, I can't come to this session, but like, do you want to get coffee? And then we vibed over coffee, and she mentioned that she was doing a movie, or she had a concept that was centered around a horror movie set.
You're giving me a lot more credit than what actually happened, which was like, I came to you and was like, you're an amazing writer. I have this idea that I can't get out of my head and I don't know what to do with. Is there something here? And you were like, yes, absolutely. Let's tease it out.
Yeah.
But no, I'm much more feral.
That's Anna's process. She's just like in a hole and she scurries out like, nah, I have this idea.
Yeah, pretty much. There's blood coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Right, but as a feral and intellectual writer, you said, okay, if I collaborate with Olivia, like it'll how did you begin the collaboration? Or also, I just feel like being a nerd and saying I'm about to read the log line that you all gave the festival, which is the experience. A failed actor turned culture warrior attempts to live out her dream of being a star performer by reviewing an immersive play, but discovers that turning that dream into a reality comes at a heavy price. Is that what you said over coffee?
No. The inspiration behind this piece is very personal, I think, for both of us, from having a theater and a dance background for me. I think we've felt at times like we've both paid a pretty logistical financial price for pursuing our dreams, but also a spiritual price. And then I was also, on the lighter note, I think if I'm remembering right, I had just watched the 4-hour documentary review of the Star Wars hotel, which was an immersive experience. Oh, well, okay. We should define what an immersive theater experience is.
So if the most obvious comp is this show called Sleep No More in New York that ran for a long time, which is basically, it's a show where you're not really sitting in a proscenium stage with a clear divide between actor and audience. It's usually a more open space where you can either, in Sleep No More, you choose which actors to follow around the space. There's no set narrative that you have to watch, so each participant can have a different experience because they can follow different actors or watch different scenes. If you go on a different day, you can have a totally different experience. There's totally a spectrum where like some immersive theater is more guided and like you are sitting down, actors can kind of come up to you. There's some improv. But it's anything where sort of like the audience is participating more in the show.
Yeah, you're not just like seated and like, just letting it come to you. You can make choices.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was this incredible YouTube review of the Star Wars hotel, which was promising to be immersive. This was a little bit before the pandemic, I think. It opened in 2018. And she just had literally the worst luck of any person. She was like the perfect mark for, she knew exactly how she wanted to participate. She'd done the research before she came in. And some people are this obsessive about immersive shows too. Like they come to Sleep No More and they're like, oh, I want to have this experience with this performer. I want to go into this room. And her view was blocked the whole time. She spoke for 4 hours about how she was curtailed at every opportunity for the experience that she wanted. And I thought, from my horror obsession, what if we amped the stakes? What if you had this experience, you're a big nerd about the thing that you love, you're ready for your big moment, and not only is it disappointing, it's actually horrific. And Olivia just went with
Yeah, but I love immersive theater. Like,
Yes, I like, for the record, I love immersive theater too. I would also be at the Star Wars Hotel.
And you didn't know of Olivia's love for immersive when you approached her with the idea. It was naturally, you both actually love immersive theater, and you had a screenplay idea about an immersive theater project.
Yeah, I think it was.
And that sounds like kismet to me.
Well, I did, because I remember you were also like, I know you've done some immersive theater, and like, I think having that perspective like would be helpful. Or like, do you think, having done immersive theater, if this is like a horror movie concept that you'd be into, or if there's legs here? Because actually back in DC, there was like a moment where that was becoming really hot, like also right before COVID. And at the time, I was developing a show it was an immersive show about the service industry that took place in a restaurant. And literally, like, I had two collaborators. We were developing it for like 2 years. And then again, the pandemic happened. It's like, well, what are the two things you absolutely can't do in a global pandemic?
Yeah.
Dine out and go to theater. So that is not going anymore. But it's like immersive theater is like truly, it's asking why the play has to be live. And I feel like it's like theater in general is such a beautiful medium because it is creating this moment that can never be replicated. But there's something about immersive theater where like you just cannot adapt it to film and TV. You have to be there, and like you're having your own personal experience, and you're only seeing it through this one perspective. And so I find that really fascinating, and I enjoy. I'm not like a diehard participant when I go. Like I'm not like the super game one that's trying to like mess with the actors and like unlock everything. But I do enjoy getting to have a specific experience and interacting with it.
Excellent. All right, so this meeting happens, and you both love the idea. Then what's the co-writing experience like?
Oh, well, the other part of the kismet was we didn't know that we were like basically neighbors. So, so that helped our success tremendously. Was we would walk to write literally, I think, every Friday.
Yeah, we sort of set up the structure where we'd get together to brainstorm, and we kind of like spent a couple weeks like chatting about the characters and the plot. And I think I told you about this, but like this was back when my subtext was still on the festival circuit. So I was driving up to this festival called Nevada City, and I remember being in this like 6-hour car ride and just like really reflecting on like deep down why this idea resonated with me so much. And it was because like theater was what I ate, slept, and breathed for years. And I just remember when I left DC feeling very burnt out and a little disillusioned by the nonprofit theater structure, and like how much I was working and how much I desperately wanted this to be my career, and how like little I got paid, and how the industry is like, it's not set up for longevity and sustainability, and you have to kind of break into these like the in groups, or like I don't like be one of the 10 chosen people that like are hired regularly. And just kind of feeling like, wow, I just feel a little bit betrayed by this industry. And like, did I waste my time now that I'm not doing theater anymore? Did I waste my time on that? And just sort of feeling like, loving this medium so much, but also feeling so like abused by it in a certain way. And that like is what folk horror is, that like something that can be simultaneously so beautiful and life-giving can also be incredibly disheartening and abusive. And that's what sort of where I was with theater in that moment. And so back to this.
Well, that's something I understood like in my bones. Like I've been a dancer and a choreographer, and I've been a dance teacher for almost as long, if not even longer. And I would tell everybody, because people would be like, oh, do you ever get sick of it? Do you ever get burnt out from dancing? And I said, no, I dance every day. I think dance is a gift from God, really. But the dance industry is a bad boyfriend. The dance industry will never, the dance industry will do you dirty.
Yes, theater's not the problem, it's the industry.
More or less. There's obviously nuances, but like to boil it down, it's like, I think we were both united on that.
Yeah. And to kind of have like theater conservatories and like dance programs are similarly intense.
Yeah. Any structural system. I don't know if you guys know this, but structural systems are difficult. They're kind of evil.
Yeah. But not ours.
Not
I thought it was a good. We had a good system because also I think co-writing is the most successful when like genuinely you have a great way of communicating with your co-writer and you're like on the same page about like what the piece needs to be and like what you're saying with it. And then you can kind of debate over like, well, where is the plot going to go? And who is this character actually? And like, is this the right choice for the script? And so we would, after we kind of had like, we wrote the outline and we talked about what would happen, then we would give each other homework. And so we would like assign each other scenes to write. And then we'd come back and sort of give notes on each one. Shameless plug for the Software Writer Duet. They don't sponsor me yet, but
they should, because
are so good.
it changed the game for us. We got that done, so we got so much work done so quickly, and I still use it even though I'm writing by myself.
It's great software, especially for co-writing.
Do you still use it?
Oh yeah.
Right, so it's specifically made for collaboration as
Yes.
screenwriting, which I've always heard of.
It's like a Google
collaboration elements in the well-known software, but it's so that one is
you can make
tailored.
changes inside the document. It tracks your changes, and you can also make notes to each other.
Yes.
And it emails you. So poor Olivia, when I was really in it, because I feel like Olivia's got the structure. Olivia knows, like, you're the more refined writer of the two of us, and I will just I'm just the workhorse. I will go in and I will erase. I'll do it like. I was like the dialogue, magic eraser the whole time. And so Olivia would get these 12 email notifications. You're like, on a launch.
Yeah. There's new activity in the experience. But it was great.
But it was also, when I got emails from you, I was like, oh, okay, I've got 20 minutes. I can take a look. And it is kind of, for me, it kind of just kept the ball rolling.
Yes. Yeah. Seeing it in real time is really helpful instead of emailing, writing separately and then emailing each other. And
so it makes you feel more present.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah. We could do work when we weren't getting together. So it only took us a few, I think between conception and first draft was half a year. And then we started sending it to our trusted friends and collaborators for notes before we started submitting it to contests.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, it is miraculous to be geographically desirable to each other in a city with the sprawl of Los Angeles, right? You meet someone in Los Angeles who you might hit it off with, and you could be 30, 45 minutes apart, even. So that's very cool.
I will say we are in NoHo, and every time I go to a film festival, I meet someone who lives within walking distance from me. It's a very scrappy indie filmmaker little town.
And I will say we also did a lot of sessions like you were traveling for Subtext a lot. I was traveling for Death in the Desert a lot, and I would call you right before screening, being like, hey,
yeah,
so what you did. I'm so but all of our calls were I'm so excited for what's happening with
yes.
Aoife. I'm so excited. Yes, this is good. Let's keep going. And that was.
Oh, it was such a joyful process. It was so fun.
I'm chicken to say it, but I'm pretty sure I love Subtext. I think I saw Subtext. Did you submit it to Film Evasion or Sherman Oaks? You might not
probably
have.
did.
Aaron
probably
don't
did.
think we screened in either of those.
No, but and that's what that's why I was almost chicken to say it. But it's the couple, the people on a date, there's a bar right behind them.
Yes,
that's a great film.
Thank you.
No, and I'm not lying when I say that. When we get 800 plus film submissions, there's painful. Honestly, it's only about 10, 20 films I remember loving that don't get into the festival, but yours is absolutely one of them. I definitely remember that.
Although I will say there are a couple films about first dates, people saying sort of what's on their minds, and sometimes we get programmed in the same block as one of those, and we'd be like, I know what they did this because they were like, oh, it's so interesting, fun romantic idea, and we were like, hey, this is
I'm shaking my head.
similar.
That's the hardest no I can give.
Yeah.
You don't put similar themes in the same block.
Yeah. So hopefully you saw ours, but you might have seen something.
I can look it up when we're done recording.
Cool. I'll send you a link.
But I can tell you, I thought it was excellent.
I'm happy you're saying it because, I think if anybody's listening to this podcast who submits their short film to a lot of things, I program for Still Your Shorts Film Fest here in LA, and I can't tell you like how weird it is being on both sides of it, just like feeling the crushing defeat of rejection, but like having no idea like how much your film is loved, like even when it can't fit. And like, I don't know, it's like, it's nice to hear that like you, like these connections still happen and like the love and appreciation still lives on for like a really cool film.
True. It's like, it's usually never like,
and not to distract from your work, but it's true that it's no one wants that email that says, you're not getting into the festival. Man, I really liked it. Right?
I'd much rather have that email, honestly, than just like, no, thank you.
Well, but you have been on both sides, right?
Yeah.
I've had so many filmmakers tell me, like, who joined our alumni jury, who have said, I never believed those emails until now, right? Because you really do see.
It does feel very much
challenge.
like, I bet you say that to all the girls. Like,
Yeah, exactly. How do you say, no, I swear, there's only like, it's tricky.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But I felt like saying, I'm 99% sure I saw it.
Nice.
And really liked it. And I was probably mad that it wasn't in, but
Can't win them all.
I also feel like it makes me an asshole if I like put my finger on the scale too much. But anyway,
Yeah.
my entire life is just devoted to not being an asshole. But anyway, all right. So you wrote in about 6 months, and I almost felt okay. I will ask the follow-up question, which is, it does seem like one of your bonds was over. I mean, you called it the structures, dealing with structures of the arts, but really it's the challenge of arts in our capitalist society, right? Like in our society, the arts just get shat on, and particularly the actors and writers have the hardest time, I think.
I think for us, we were interested like in exploring a bit more the obsession with fame and success. I think what I was interested in our main character was the horror, not necessarily of being disemboweled or the folk horror of being, disappeared into a cult or something like that, but more the horror of working for something your whole life and realizing that you are just mediocre at it. Like really going for your dreams, putting the work in, and just having to face the fact that like you're good, but you'll never be great. Like, and that happens sometimes in life. And I think maybe that's the most millennial thing I've ever said, but I think it's a lot that a lot of us, we artists, we put our souls, we put our everything into everything. And sometimes it's a flash, like it's kismet, like our creative process. And sometimes it's like a flop, but I think that's something our main character is dealing with. She's found herself really, really, really successful in something in culture criticism, which is something she knows, and it's her lifeblood, and it's so close to what she really, really wants to do, which is be the lead actor of a Broadway show, like the hottest Broadway zeitgeist. And it's never going to be in, without a little witchcraft. It's never going to be her path. And what do you do with that? How do you, as a person, do you resist it, or do you embrace who you are and the person you can become and the doors that can open to you?
Yeah, exactly. Like in the movie, it's kind of asking, something that this protagonist fell into because she couldn't do the thing she really wanted to do, that she had this gift for, and sort of like she's very good at it, but she doesn't love it. And she sort of pretends to the world like she does. And actually someone recently told me that like when your brain has to work like twice as hard to do something that you're good at but you don't love than it does when it's something that you do love. And that's like exhausting over time and like slowly kills you. And so if like you're presented with this opportunity to be like, well, what if you could actually just do the thing you love to do? And that was a possibility, like, but it kind of came at this cost.
Yeah. What would you do?
How far would you go?
How far would you go?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, Yeah, we don't really go into like the structural. We're not doing a structural critique over arts administration.
No, I mean, yeah, that's a whole other can of
We
worms.
can do that's our next. That's our next one.
I mean, I do think
It sounds like it's a subtext.
Well,
of
part of
sorts.
the pressure, I do think
Nice.
that yes, it's. I mean, truly, like in many other countries, like arts funding, but like government arts funding is much more the standard. And I think that even back when I was working in theater in DC, and it's like I had plays produced, and I was working at this level where like I didn't want to get famous. Like I just wanted to have a sustainable career as a theater maker and be like regularly employed and like do work that I cared about. And you know, I would still go home for Thanksgiving, and my relatives would be like, "So when are you going to be on Broadway?" And then it's like, "When?" And it's like, yes, that's just sort of what the mainstream knows, and there's nothing wrong with Broadway, but it's like we have these external markers of commercial success, and we equate commercial success with artistic success
And
so many
happiness.
times, and happiness. And it's like I struggle with that all the time because I do want to earn a living from this. Like I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. But also like what Anna was saying, like part of being an artist is the process, and it is like sort of messily putting things out there, and like art shouldn't demand perfection. It shouldn't demand commercial viability. Like that's part of it, but we need to let art do what art actually is supposed to do, which is like comment and critique and help us feel and help us have catharsis, and it's therapy. And like we don't give it as much credit, and like I could go on and on about the myth of the starving artist and all that stuff.
For sure. And it also sounds like there's a little hint of imposter syndrome sort of underneath it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because the person was doubting if they really had what it took to make it, or no? Maybe I'm reading that
There is
into
kind
it.
of that of
I
like,
think there's a little bit more Delulu until it becomes Trululu
yeah,
with Kira, our main character.
yeah. Yeah, we don't really go into like why she couldn't break into acting, but I
love that read on it. I feel like you've got a good grasp of the character, Jess. I think maybe we'll bring you in for the table read.
Exactly.
Ooh, that
Next
sounds
episode,
fun.
full
That
table read
sounds
the
fun.
experience.
I know there's table read podcasts, so who knows? But
Oh my god,
That would actually be fun.
That
All right,
would
if
be
you know
really
anyone,
anyone
out there,
if you want to start
Table Read
one,
podcast.
I will
go
say
for
that
it.
is kind of the fun thing about the script is like we do have I think 6 main protagonists and 6 main antagonists. So
Yeah.
there's really fun interactions and in the script, and like probably will happen on screen when we make this. Just opportunities for people to interact with each other even without dialogue, because every little performer are a little antagonist cast that may or may not be evil. We'll see.
Yes.
They're such distinct little personalities, and we've got like our little, not little, but our cast of friends that surround Kira too. So it's really fun for, hopefully be a treat for any actor.
Oh yeah.
I want to be in this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, actually, I'm going to ask, and Lorna, is this a screenplay that requires a big old budget and big old support, or did you actually write it? It almost sounds like you could have written this, that you could actually set up this experience and like kind of shoot it independently, like on weekends and whatnot. Like, I don't know. Is it? I guess what's the plan? Is what I'm asking. Is it?
I don't know
is
about
it,
weekends, but
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
yeah.
Well, I guess if there's blood, yeah, it's
We
got to
could
be all
go,
at
yeah.
once.
I mean, we could go full Sam Raimi. I mean, that's how they made Evil Dead. It was just they went out to that cabin on the weekends. You know that?
True. Well, I didn't know that, but yeah, if you know any sort of
I mean, Jeff,
old
how much
warehouses.
money you got?
Yeah.
how many warehouses do you have?
Personally, the answer is none. But I know but you know, I could get you in with the guy who donates. Oh, I shouldn't say this while we're recording. But you know, like the gala space that we have for our opening at gala, that's donated.
Yeah.
I mean, we would love to. I mean, we're both proponents of making stuff in LA and bringing more productions to LA. But the beauty of the production structure, I'm speaking as the prospective director, hopefully, and Olivia is a prospective like lead in this.
Producer and lead, probably co-producers.
Listen, I'm a producer by necessity.
I think we're both producers by
Yeah.
necessity.
Yeah, you have to
But
be.
you know, I was at. Were you at the panel? I was at a panel at FilmQuest where it was an interesting panel about, I think, producing an independent production. I can't remember exactly who was there, the details, so forgive me. But you know, somebody brought up a really interesting point, which is like, if you are a writer right now, and you're not backed by a studio or like have that huge institutional support, then you need to just be ready and excited to produce your own stuff. And I think I've been trying to lean into the joy of like moving the mountain, because it's the reality for it's how things are made these days in the indie space.
And there's something very empowering about retaining creative control and being like, I get to work with the people I want to work with.
Exactly.
I can run the set the way I want to run the set. I can pay people the way they need to be paid. It's hard, and it requires a lot of time and energy. So I think for us, like, there's a spectrum. Like I could see the like $1 million version of this that's like lavish and opulent. And then I can see the like indie version that like leans into the sort of the gritty theater of it all. And I think it can be done for a few different budget levels.
Yeah, I think what we're excited about is having a big multi-purpose space, like a space that could be anywhere. You know, like we could really play with the visuals. We can play with a bunch of production designers and change the look. And it's not really specific to. I mean, obviously we're inspired by Broadway, and we tip our hat to productions like Sleep No More, but also to like productions in Denver, like Odd Knock Productions and Meow Wolf, and like all this stuff that is actually happening all over. But yeah, we could really knock this out in really creative ways and do a lot of creative problem solving, like in one space.
Yeah. Well, something that's I think like fun about the script is that there's sort of this question of like, is this part of the show or isn't it? And there's these like special effects that happen, and like there's a little bit of like, is there something in the drink? Like things get a little bit more surreal, and there's like ways that we could play with perspective and the space that are like fun and spooky, but don't necessarily need to have like big special effects. Because like my phrase I keep repeating is like, I come from theater where we're used to doing stuff with a light bulb and a piece of string. And so like,
yeah,
that's the beauty of like, I remember seeing The Woman in Black on the West End, which was the first horror play I ever saw. And I thought it was going to be a bunch of special effects, and it was like truly just well-placed lights and sound. And it was terrifying. And so I think that like you can absolutely bring the ethos to filmmaking. I think
like, to answer your question more broadly, we are going to make this film. And it's like, you know, it's so funny hearing, like, being on the festival circuit with a screenplay, you get a lot of advice of like how you should do this and how it could go. And you know, we've both made shorts, like, and you're writing a TV show. Like we both know how to make things, but it's like, you know, how it all comes together is like a myriad of different possibilities, and we're just really, really open and really trying to sharpen our tools and like become more open and creative of how to make this happen, and not really box ourselves into this idea that, oh, we just have to make it as like 5 shorts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which we know how to do it, but
Right, you could do that, and you could, you know, get it out there. And it's funny, it doesn't sound like it would appeal to you if one of those, there's big, well-known horror production companies, but if they option your screenplay, it still has like a 1 in 500 shot of being the screenplay that production company makes, right? Like it sounds like you really want to see it realized. You don't just want to sell it off.
That's the danger, I think, when or not danger, but it's definitely like golden handcuffs if you get a screenplay optioned, right? Like a lot of stuff gets optioned that never sees the light of day. And that also may happen. We don't, like, we can't like fight against
Listen.
the time.
And by the way,
talking?
I might know for a fact that, like, not only that, but when someone options something, as soon as you say to them 3 years out of a 5-year term, hey, can I get it back now? They're like, who's interested in it? All of a sudden they hold on to it tighter. So yeah, once you get an option, it's kind of, even though it's temporary, it's not yours anymore.
Yeah.
No.
And you two, it feels like you feel ownership and feel connected to it enough to really just want to realize it.
I think there's a lot of versions where I'm so proud of this script because I really feel like we could also just sell it off to Nia DaCosta and she would do an amazing, like, especially because she just directed Hedda.
Yeah.
And the play within our play is Hedda Gobbler.
Yes.
I was looking at all of the sets and I was like, that would be really cool if we could. But anyway, just to use her as an example, like, you know, we could give this to somebody who could make this really easily and we could, you know, step back and enjoy seeing this realized through somebody else's eyes. I think that could be fascinating. But I think we are both really, I don't know, I think this is a personal project for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, I feel similarly where it's like if somebody really was passionate about it and had a vision for it and we could collaborate together, I would be so excited by that because I just sort of want to be a part of it. And it's like, to the extent of which I am participating, it's like I would like to be in it, but if I was like had a smaller part or if I was just able to like be a writing consultant on set and I got some say in like who we hired, like that would, I don't like totally giving something over, which is funny to say as a playwright because usually the director just kind of like takes it, makes their own choices. But it would have to be, if I didn't feel like there was true creative alignment and we were just selling it to like whatever random company and they held on to it for 5 years and never happened, then I'd be like, well, that's sad because I want to see this on screen, you know?
Well, I think like for me, this is a very singular experience. Like I'm also not usually a writer, or I'm a writer by necessity. And I think this process has taught me, you know, like the process of thinking of producing this film, which is 100% the goal of writing this film, has taught me to get ready. Like I am ready to jump in. I've got like my storyboards in my mind. I've got like storyboards set up. We've got our pitch deck where if somebody gives us money, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go tomorrow. Nice. But at the same time, I also really feel like to really like pull the trigger, get this made, and it has to go to somebody else. Like I, for the first time, need to be ready to like completely let go and step back and just let what happens. And I think for me, that's been a really liberating space to just be like ready to go full force or ready to let go.
Yeah. Yeah. That is great.
But I don't think everybody, I love that. Like, but that's why it's good that we're collaborating together. Cause I think you keep me tethered. You keep me grounded.
I'm very much not a director in that I love not having all the answers. I love being like, if you're good at this and you have a good idea, awesome. I can do what I like to do and you can do what you like to do. And that's great. And I can delegate.
And it sounds like neither of you are precious. You're not precious about it, right? You're like, if someone wants to interpret this, I'm open to their ideas.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, if you're on the same page about what you're trying to say and what it is, then I think that's where the magic happens, is like you trust in the artistry of your collaborators. But if someone was like, actually, like it's a totally different thing, then that's when I would get, more scared about it. But
yeah, so a Hollywood studio going, okay, well, we're going to option it. And then 6 months later, you find out they've changed all the characters to male and this and that. You'd be like, motherfucker.
I mean, it's happened.
Yeah.
It's part of the reality of. It does.
happen.
It's like we say in our script, there's a price for everything. But I think it's a nice thing to bring up being precious or not, because I think the best thing you can do for me as a director is be clear and to be to not ask, to tell, to guide, but not letting getting precious ruin like the scope of opportunity. And I think that definitely like I think you feel that on set if you've ever been in a position where somebody is like, even if it's like the sound is very like, we have to, make sure everything is in the perfect conditions. Sorry, I shouldn't shit on sound. We love you. Just as an example.
But if you have to make up for bad sound later, you realize
no.
That
sound is a terrible example.
But precious about a line of dialogue.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I've seen people be precious on the set about a line of dialogue. It's like, if that actor needs to change the word to make it better, let them.
No, that ruins creativity, and I think it's really cool working with somebody like Olivia, who like we both value the creative process, and we both value the best version of this thing.
Yeah,
and I think that's been more challenging for us, like planning the like production next steps, which will probably, like, it took us 6 months to write this, and it might take us 6 years. No, it's not. It's not going to take us 6 years to make.
Life is long.
Life is long.
We're in the long game now.
But when you do see it, it's going to be like really, really spectacular, and I think it'll be really, really us.
Yeah.
Excellent. And it sounds, is this the presumptuous, lame question, but did this inspire you to want to collaborate more beyond the experience? Are there more screenplay ideas being thrown around?
Oh, 100%. We're still writing.
Mm-hmm. I think
still writing the experience or something else?
Well, I think we both like went on to do more projects with other people like right afterwards.
That's true. We're not working on anything together currently, but I'm really inspired to write stuff and bring in Olivia as an actor.
Hell yeah.
And you're
we're neighbors, so we're always we went to Lady Gaga together last week.
True. That's
like we're always talking about stuff. Like it's probably, I feel like we're not gonna plan it and there'll just come a day where we'll like have the same idea at the same time, or we'll be like, Anna, I had this dream and you were in it and we're doing this thing, and you'd be like, I had the same dream, and that means we should make it.
I know. I think it's funny. Like this was such a good project for both of us in the space, because I'd never written a feature that was like structured enough for like the festival circuit, or got any, I never, or like maybe I did, but I never had the gall to do it. And I don't think, was this your first feature you wrote?
Yes.
Yeah. So we were both kind of stretched to do, like, to open the roads to do more for us. But generally, I think I'm more of a film girly.
Oh yeah.
And Olivia's more of a TV person. So our worlds have just like touched creatively for this. But I think it's good to have people, I don't know, to have two worlds kind of passing.
Yes. Well, I do like horror, and I know way more about horror after having done this.
Yes, we had what was your favorite? Like we assigned each other little like homework movies.
Yeah.
What was I think you made me watch all of Midnight Mass again, and Mike Flanagan one.
I love Mike Flanagan.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Oh man. Well, you definitely made me watch both Suspirias, and what's the, I'm gonna forget the name of this movie, but what's the Guillermo del Toro one where it's like this old house and the girl moves
Crimson
in?
Peak?
Yeah.
Did I make you watch Crimson Peak?
I loved it.
That's such a wild movie. I want to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Yes, Doug Jones. Doug Jones was in that, right? Yes.
I love Doug Jones. If Doug Jones was in our movie, I could die
Yes,
happy.
Doug Jones.
Please be in our movie.
We have a great role for you. You could be any
role for Doug Jones.
You could really be anybody in this movie. But yeah, I guess we're always in each other's orbit, and I'm always.
And if you want to bounce an idea or have someone read a scene, you think of each other.
Yeah, I'm really not kidding. I've got a script to show to you like after this podcast.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Very cool. It sounds very promising.
Thanks. We think so too.
Yeah. Promising. It sounds badass. It sounds like something you want to watch right this very minute, Jeff.
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
You love horror, yeah?
I do. Well, yeah. In fact, I got a bunch of horror recommendations from you last time, because our college freshman only watches horror. So, and we run out of good horror to find.
I've got a couple more, honestly.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Although it's funny, she doesn't always trust my recommendations. What are you going to do?
Have you seen the Mike Flanagan masterpiece, Midnight Mass?
No. We did love the one where his wife was deaf out in the wilderness.
Hush.
Hush.
Yeah, that's
We've watched a lot of. It's funny. My great sadness is that I can't get her to watch the Flanagan TV series.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's a
See,
TV show.
every time a new series comes, I'm like, we should watch this. She's like, no.
Wow. Why? Because they're too long?
Yeah, and because she hears, I think in the community she's in, if something's thinky, if it starts off a little slow and thinky and really sets the groundwork, teenagers are like, where's my jump scare?
Interesting.
She
Well,
wants
would
the jump
definitely
scares in the
she would
first
like
5
Haunting
minutes.
of Hill House.
yeah. There's a
There's a lot
pretty
of
famous
scares
jump
in
scare.
there.
I was desperate to have
Oh
her
my
watch
gosh,
Haunting
you
of
would
Hill
love
in the
that.
house
Yeah.
with
But
me.
here's my question, I think, for both of you. Do you ever, like, for yourself and for introducing people to TV shows, do you ever, like, say, okay, just start in, like, season 3, episode 5? Or do you, like, insist on starting from the beginning every time? Or, like, introducing people to the beginning every time?
The one that I always say, I usually say start from the beginning, but if you're going to watch Downton Abbey, you have to skip the pilot. It doesn't need to be there. It's really bad and boring. I'm so sorry, Julian Fellows, but you can just start with episode 2, and it's incredible, and it sets up everything. So
I feel the same way about Parks and Rec. I feel like you can skip the whole first season. And that's literally my favorite TV show ever made.
Actually, as soon as Rob Lowe and Adam Scott show up, not Adam Scott.
Yeah, Adam Scott, yeah.
It takes off with those characters, right? Like the characters that they replaced, the guy they replaced was just boring. Oh, that was mean of me, but I'm with you. Well, I love the early season or 2 of Parks and Rec, and again, re-binged it during COVID and whatnot. But I agree, like it really takes off as they get established.
I didn't mind season 1, but I see it. It's like it finds itself later on.
We can put some respect on Mark Brandanowitz's name. Mark Brandanowitz. But
my example is Curb Your Enthusiasm. I tell people start with the season when JB Smoove moves in. The early seasons are too much. Now RFK Jr.'s wife just yelling at Larry is boring. But then, like, by season 4, I think it's just, like, the funniest show ever.
That is cool. I haven't seen that one.
But I haven't seen all of it. I've definitely seen episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it's been on for ages and ages.
It is. It's old person comedy. But anyway.
I like it.
I don't know. I say, like, go wild and just have your daughter watch the sorry, this may be like the hottest take ever, but just have her like in the middle of Haunting of Hill House when the first episode where they're all together at the funeral.
Oh my god.
Just do that one. It's like it feels like one long take, but it's definitely not boring, and there's definitely some good jump scares.
Oh yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. I've seen Hill House like 3 times.
Is it episode 5?
It's something season? Like that. It's sort of like 2/3 of the way through season 1.
Yeah, just start there, and if there's nothing there for you, then totally give up.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet you like it would be worth going back and watching the rest afterwards, but you probably could just watch that standalone and it would still hold up.
I think it's one of the most incredible pieces of directing I've seen.
Right, and it might lock us in, and then we'll go back and rewatch the beginning for backstory, I guess, or you can just plow forward.
I mean,
I love it so much. Just watch all of it.
Also, if you didn't
regret it,
I should just watch it without her. I try to be faithful and not watch horror alone, but
also this is so funny to like have to explain something that happened so recently, but like if she didn't know, or if anybody who doesn't know anything about The Haunting of Hill House, there are like little Easter egg like figures that like
right,
like there are ghosts there's so many ghosts embedded into every frame that I think the writers or the directors, somebody who like was looking at every frame was like, yeah, I don't even know how many there are. I haven't.
So that like, early setup that I think we might have watched the first episode and she wouldn't continue with me, but so there's actually Easter eggs even then.
There's literally hidden figures in every single frame, and oh no, it wasn't that the director doesn't know. It was that somebody published a list of all of the ones they could find, and he was like, yeah, you haven't even gotten half of them.
Wow.
Like there's so, like even subliminal maybe. Yeah. But I'm like, all that stuff goes by me.
I really haven't seen. I think like once or twice I caught one, but yeah.
I like the one in like and like the crawl space, like that one.
I think I've seen that one. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to make a crawl space. I think I wrote a crawl space in this.
In the one I'm going to be in? Excellent. Yeah.
In the one you're going to be in, yeah.
Great. Good.
Crawl spaces are just naturally scary.
No, the trapdoor in the
Oh,
experience. Yeah, we have a trapdoor.
What? Trapdoor?
What?
There's not a trapdoor. I'm just kidding.
Don't go
Yes,
in there.
you're right. Yeah. That comes in pretty early.
All right, well, I totally derailed the conversation by bringing up recommendations for me and my kid. But anything else of note you want to mention that's coming up for either of you?
Well, like as I mentioned, I am more of a TV person than a movie person. So my next project is, as Anna mentioned, I'm producing an indie TV show that I wrote the pilot for, and then I crowdfunded to hire and run an indie writers room last summer. So the plan is to basically film 6 episodes of TV as if it were a feature film, and then have it land somewhere as an original show that can get picked up and run for more seasons. It's a sort of heartfelt sitcom style show about a nice Catholic church lady who comes out as bisexual in her 50s, and her lesbian daughter reluctantly helps her re-enter the dating scene, but has this chip on her shoulder because she didn't feel that supported when she came out. It's called And Also With You. And so we're basically in like pre-production for that now, because all the episodes are written. Yeah, we're trucking along.
I got to say that resonates so hard for me because I am of the generation that I have many friends who literally got married, had children, blah, 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 and then somewhere around 45 plus just couldn't do it anymore and came out.
Wow.
My generation came out late.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I just adore that our kid, like even in middle school, like 5-6 years ago, there were kids who were out. I'm like, oh my God, thank God you won't have to wait till you're middle aged and realize, oh my God, I've got 30 years to go. I better be with who I want.
Yes.
I mean, it's never too late.
It's
never
literally
too late.
never too late. Like, I mean, I'm a millennial and I'm a late blooming bisexual who was raised Catholic. And so that's sort of where the show came from. But yeah, when I was in middle school, that was like, it was not done it wasn't as, like gay was still a synonym for stupid when I was in middle school. So now I think the culture has thankfully shifted.
No, it's still used to mean stupid or lame. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, in some parts of the
world,
world,
the bisexual community gets all kinds of heat from everybody.
Oh, do we? I haven't noticed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
indeed.
we had a panel called what was it? It was called Queer Filmmaking. Well, the person who hosted the panel wanted it at the festival. This was Sherman Oaks 2024, I think. I wanted to call it Queer Filmmaking in the Era of Trump. And I said, can we just make it Queer Filmmaking today? Because I didn't want to use that name. But there was someone up on, a bisexual woman on the panel said, I think the meanest people I've met have been lesbians who just yell at me for being bi.
Well, there is that sort of lack of like people want to put other people in boxes and like claim folks, and so it is this kind of like it doesn't matter what kind of experience you have, it's who you're attracted to. And so I'm still bisexual whether I'm dating a man or a woman, and so I think it's this sort of weird middle ground of like, well, I'm not straight, like I'm not really in the straight community, but then I'm not like for like I think the queer community sometimes it's like, well, if you're just be fully queer, or like you're actually like you're not necessarily queer enough to be in those spaces. And like thankfully I have a great queer community, and like there's many queer folks who are very accepting of bi people, but there is sort of that it's tough to present in a certain way sometimes, or it's tough to claim that identity, because then it's sort of like, oh well, it's if I marry someone that I'm just gay now, or I'm just straight now. It's like, no, your identity is expansive. It's like both things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, and just when you fall in love with someone, it doesn't change your identity.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly.
It's so funny. I feel like I joke a lot because I feel like even saying bisexual is kind of like I don't know. It's just kind of like an interesting moniker with like a bit of an attitude. Like I really feel like, if I'm being very honest, like I'm just the world's pickiest pansexual. But I use bi because of the panic. Like
Right, the reaction you get.
No, because like bi panic is like, it's you know, it's like I'm more bisexual the more I'm panicking. Like, like, do I fit in this one thing? Do I fit in this other thing? Like, what, like, am I doing? Like, am I too straight? Like, yeah. And then it's like, that's when I feel the most bi.
Truly, that is what it's like. Well, I think, and truly,
but really, it's just like, I just feel like an expansive human being. And it's. Yeah, I'm so excited for this show.
Me too.
Because like, it sparks these discussions.
Yes, and I think, well, quick point is that I know that the term bisexual, I feel like, inherently implies the gender binary, which is also not totally true. Like, I've also been attracted to non-binary people, and it's like, I think that there's...
All right, nice brag.
Listen. It's just expansiveness.
Olivia can get it.
Look,
let's put this on the record. Olivia's really hot.
Anyway,
I'll toss in my joke from the 90s, which we some of us would just say we're trisexual. We'll just try anything.
Oh my God.
My new phrase I'm using is like, I am bi, but not for straight men.
Oop.
Sorry.
Oop.
Just because I feel like I've learned over time that just like I feel the most fully seen when I am in my queer identity. And I think that I've always struggled as the girlfriend in a heterosexual dynamic. And so it's just not where I like find the most success and joy. Who knows? Maybe there'll be one straight
you
dude,
say that, and then
woke straight dude who comes along, changes everything.
You'll have a crazy meet cute. You'll go on a date.
Be like, I see you, babe. But anyway,
but that's the point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like
it doesn't matter.
Finding happiness. It's never too late to be fulfilled.
Exactly. This is just me right now, and we can change, and that's what's beautiful. And to bring it back to the TV show, I do think that. The other thing that a conversation that I'm really interested in having is the character, and also with you, is like really trying to reconcile like fully loving being in the Catholic Church and having a community there and having a relationship with God, and also like wanting to be her full self and date women and be out in public. And like, I think that we often put these two cultures or these two identities at the opposite ends of a binary, but it doesn't need to be that way. And so, like, there's so many queer Christians out there, or like people that want to be in like, I'm still a spiritual person. I don't identify as Catholic anymore, but I think spirituality and faith are still important to me. But it like realizing that like homosexuality wasn't a sin was like a big journey for me. And I think that that's like part of what we're engaging with in the show too, and it really aims to present queer characters and characters of faith in a kind of accessible way. And like my Catholic aunts can watch the show and have a good time, and my queer friends can watch the show and have a good time. And I think that that's like the way I like to engage with art, is like where it feels very inviting and feels like we can have this conversation, but nobody's the bad guy here. Like, we can just expansive identity.
And it's like super impactful and inspiring for people who've maybe are interacting with these ideas for the first time. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it could be really illuminating or validating, which is, I think, it sounds like the show I would have wanted to see when I was a kid.
Oh, excellent. Me too. That is a tagline I use for it sometimes. Like, this is the show that I could have used in middle school.
For sure. And I should probably let the podcast end, but I also have to mention, because you were talking about Catholicism, that it's kind of a nice era right now, because there's finally, like, the messaging coming from Rome and from the Pope is like more positive than it's been in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Towards
there's still some progress to be made there, but
there's a ton
you know,
needed. But
not actually calling for our
like
deaths, so that's pretty good.
Well, anyway, it strikes me as a Satanist that Rome's getting a little better. But I'm joking. I'm not really a Satanist. I just like throwing that out there.
But you're like, hold on, I want to just like plug you a little bit because you're also like promoting and like you can follow the journey along on like your socials and stuff like that.
Thank you.
So how do people learn more about and also with you?
Thank you. We're trying to be out there on the socials. It's not come
really
naturally to me.
It's interesting.
Yeah, we are. So my personal Instagram handle is Olivia_Haller, and then we have another handle for the show itself called and also with you _series. And so we're trying to retrospectively post a little bit more about like the process of making it and what we'd like to do with it in the future.
You just handed me the segue on a silk pillow to say,
Beautiful.
Those will be clickable links in the show notes, as well as any links that Anna wants.
Heck yeah.
And we'll throw in all those links so everyone can follow your socials. Who's listening to this, just go to the show notes, however you're listening to this podcast, and you can start following. It's funny, I quit social media a year plus ago, but now I feel like I want to go look at yours. So anyway, I'll do the wrap up.
Again, nice brag.
Was that I guess it is a brag, but it's been nice. It's been nice. Funny thing is I had to do it after losing a pet because it was all pet videos.
That's not funny.
And it made me so sad. Yeah,
That's
I know.
so sad.
It was also
Oh,
the
gosh.
politics, obviously. I couldn't take what happened in January of 2025. But also, all right, I should not. Yeah, boy, you want to kill a conversation, talk about
No, but
a
that's
pet.
that's
my
super interesting.
gosh.
Like I could have like a whole nother conversation about like what a year after, completely cutting off social media feels like, or what's changed. But that's just me being.
I'd be lying if I said it's complete, but I don't post anymore and I don't comment anymore.
Oh, I see.
But my damn childhood friend only instant messages me on Instagram, and then I try to write back by text. I'm like, can't you just send me these things by text?
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
But he's up in Vancouver on Instagram, so like that's only that's our main communication. So I still open Instagram a few times a week just to look. And now the flood of pet video because I was like, whatever, I'm a pet person.
Oh yeah. I admire the self-restraint that it takes to have it but still not be disconnected from it.
Well, it is inside a folder, and then you have to scroll like 3 times to get to it on the phone. But
Great. Gatekeeping. Good.
Massively intentional Instagram. I think.
You could take a page
I
out
know.
of that.
Yeah.
Although I did have a guest a week or two ago who bested me. They deleted the app off their phone. So if they want to check Instagram, they have to pull it up on the web. I'm like, ooh, you're better than I am. There you go. With that said, I was trying to. So anyway, clickable links, show notes for both Olivia and Anna. Check that stuff out. If you want to learn more about the podcast, there's clickable links down there. DiscoverIndieFilm.com is for the podcast and all the things that have grown from it. On social media, it's always at DIFWins. My wonderful podcast producer, Karina, does check that several times a week. So if you write to the podcast on at DIFWins, it won't be me because I have quit. I'm not on there. I don't whatever. I only post pictures from No King's Day. But anyway, another brag. So I'm aware you keep us honest, Anna. So that's discoverindiefilm.com. If you do .org, if you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is the nonprofit that runs 2 film festivals in the LA area. Sherman Oaks Film Festival that we hold every winter, and Film Invasion Los Angeles that we hold in the summer. So check those 2 out. They're both in the top 100 best reviewed list worldwide out of 14,000 festivals. That's a straight out brag, which I have to do at the end of every podcast. And by the way, I call those two siblings. They got a cousin who was born in South America this year. Film Invasion Lima happened, and it was awesome. I wasn't there, but I got wonderful emails from people who attended, include like the kind of, people saying, this was my best experience at a film festival from local South Americans. I'm like, yay. So
That's awesome.
so next year, 2027, we'll have the 2nd edition of Film Invasion Lima, and it'll be Valentine's weekend. So just do something romantic on Valentine's Day. Go down to Lima, Peru, see great films. It's
Have some
also a
good
3-day
coffee.
holiday in the States, so we'll see. But anyway, that is my wrap up. Thank you, Olivia and Anna. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you, everybody, for listening.